Hello to everyone of the sign of Cancer. This is Zaida Velgara from Becoming I Am here with your message for December 2025. I hope you enjoy it. To start off with, I will be talking about I will be giving you some astrology, and with the astrology, I will be seeing how it affects you personally. So let's go down the line and see what's going on with you. All right. So, first of all, December 4th, full moon in Gemini. For all of you that are very, I want to say, spiritually attuned, you might be already experiencing from the beginning of December all the way till about the 8th of December a lot of vivid dreams, a lot of downloads, and a lot of clarity. This full moon would be great for you to do something that has to do with connecting to your guides, getting clarity, getting answers to questions that you have. Also, another thing that you can do is before you go to sleep, kind of ask yourself a question and then allow yourself to be open to receive the answers to that question. So let's see how it's going to be affecting you personally. Oh, look. One fell on table and the other one fell on the ground here. So the first thing we have is number 9, Faye. Not everything is what it seems. Be cautious, dear one, for there is a story beneath the tale. And that's the fairies. The second thing that comes out, let's see, we can put that over there so you can kind of see it, not really, but sure. The second one is hand fasting 17. The pulse, I know that sounds real. Pulse, okay? Through all that I am. No hidden form is left untouched. I am willing, I am risking, for I am yearning for unity spilled luxuriously upon my lips. Okay, I feel like I want to tell you, Cancer Collective, and that there is something that you feel drawn to connect to. This can be a person in the 3D. This can be something spiritual. This can be like a practice or religious group or social group or whatever, but it does feel like a pulling, a calling for something that you would like to connect to. This connection is something that is going to awaken something inside of you, but it also requires a commitment. And it's saying that you should be a little cautious as to what you're opening yourself up to. If you are willing and able to put in the effort that is required and that you read all the fine print, I'm feeling that very strongly. Okay. Second thing is the um, Neptune going direct in Pisces. It's in December 10th. Now, the ironic thing about that is that I think I did another time jump. And we've talked about this before when it came to the retrograde. That was in October, but then it ended up being in November. Now it's this Neptune going in Pisces. The first videos that I did, Neptune was going in Pisces on the 15th. And now when I verified again the astrology, it's actually going direct on the 10th. So I feel like every single time I have these kinds of vanilla effects, it's like a correction of a timeline, like something you did, either agreeing to something different, connecting to something different, cutting cords to something else, or like doing any internal child work, like we as we heal, we actually correct our own timeline and we jump into different dimensions. Now, that is very esoteric. It's not for everybody. Only those that understand will understand what I'm talking about. So, just letting you know that now Neptune is going into Pisces. That would make you very open in the spiritual aspect, kind of to perceiving something new. And this feels like um, because we're seeing this energy of the Fae and connecting to something, it might be perceiving something new in your reality that might seem a little weird to other people, but you know it to be true. So let's see what that's all about. Cancer, we're going spiritual with you guys. So what did we get? We get Bridget. So Bridget is a deity. She has to do with, that energy of love, of compassion, of protection. I'm not a Bridget follower. So if you are a Bridget follower, I would recommend you to look into goddess Bridget, if and then I'm hearing her said the huntress, the the pure energy. Yeah. So if you are one, this is a calling for you again, that you must connect to her during that period of time. Um, but it is talking, sometimes it's not connecting to the deity itself, but what she represents and those aspects in yourself. So I would do a little bit of research on that. Just a side note. This is number 10, and it says, May the serpent wake. See, this is again the temptation energy. Bellowing with the raising flames and beckoning the wisdom that awaits your return. See, there is something. I don't know what it is, my cancers, for you guys, but there's something waking up. And it's like a hidden wisdom that you had inside yourself. And again, I'm going to say the same thing. Even though it's wonderful to connect to spiritual teams and it's wonderful to connect back to our roots and I want to say our ancestry, at times when you're going through that exploration period, you do have to confront, I want to say, the trials and tribulations to see if you are ready to open that door. And here it feels like there's some kind of, and that's interesting because this is December 10th and the card is number 10. So it does feel like a completion, allowing a new cycle to open. You know what? Hold on one second. So this is starting to bother me a lot. So I decided just to Google it really quick, just to get you a little bit of insight regarding it. And first of all, she's a Celtic goddess. Secondly, she has that multifaceted nature to her. So that's Mother Maiden Crone. I think that in comparison to the Mother Maiden Crone of Hecate, which is more shadow work, she's more light work. It talks about, it says here, Bridget embodies also reflects the balance of life, death, rebirth, making her a vital figure in ritual celebrations to honor the role of the cycles of nature. So it's kind of like some new cycle that is starting inside of you and you honoring that new cycle. I don't feel like, because she's embodying the energy of water, as I'm looking at this in a deep connection into that, there, I feel like it's more of the lighter version of the female aspect, right? Where before you were, she's talking about fertility here. Before you were more focused on things that had to do with purification of um, distortions in our energy. That was 2025. 2026, she's kind of embodying more of the healing, fertility, poetry, inspiration, and moving into like a new reality for yourself. I guess what they're telling you is that, as I'm looking at her representation embodiment, right? And because I'm seeing like an entanglement here and you kind of opening the door to this energy, not saying that you're opening a door to the deity, but depending on you, right? But if you are opening the door to this deity, what you're doing is that you're opening doors to an acceptance that we're not going to be focusing on what is dead and old and rotten. What we're going to be focusing on is that death already happened, and it's time for us to embody more of a rebirth and creating that nurturing fertile ground for that rebirth. So because December 10th really feels like a time where your inspiration, your imagination, and your hope reclaims itself, I think that's what's coming in. Like the movement from the energy of Hecate, for whoever knows what Hecate is, she's more of the dark shadow version of Mother Maiden Crone. She takes you down to the underworld so that you can purify things. This one is kind of bringing you back to the spring energy. So it feels like something coming back to life. Oh, I'm feeling really cold all of a sudden. I just finished telling you I'm taking off this sweater because I'm hot, and then now I'm feeling like I need to put it back on because I'm cold. But this happens sometimes, especially when certain beings walk into the room. I think this is all twisted up, but whatever. Certain beings walk into the room, they make it really cold for me. So just a side note. Then the third thing we're going to be looking into is December 20th, which has a new moon in the sign of Sagittarius. This is interesting because I did want to say November 20th. November 20th, we had the new moon in the sign of Scorpio. So that was completing a cycle. I think that this is like up to the 20th of December for you guys. It was kind of like going through that mourning process as that thing dies. And then the 20th feels like that rebirth, especially with this energy of Bridget also being very present here. But I want to see how it's going to affect you. I don't know. I'm feeling like I'm talking to some very witchy, esoteric people. If you're not, I don't know, maybe it's not the message for you, or maybe there's something here that will resonate, but definitely talking to an esoteric group. We have a lot of cards that flew out actually. These came together, three together, and then this one came separate. So I'm going to do shut the freaking front door. I just rewind the video so you can hear it. I did say this is like a rebirth energy, and tell me why I got number 31 with the card rebirth. Shut up. That's kind of freaky, you guys. And look at, there's three women around the fire. Mother, Maiden, Crone. I told you. And then there's three cards separately that came out. So we're going to talk about how each one is affecting you. But it says, there's death in all that awakens, for it isn't blissful nor painless. It's a mighty rise on flame resurrected. So I'm feeling like there is some kind of energy that's awakening. And this is like a theme that I'm seeing all the cards kind of embodying for you, my Cancers. Like something is waking up. And this wake up that you're feeling will not only affect your present, it will affect your past and how you see it, and your future and how you want to create it. And so that's really interesting. So if we were thinking Mother, Maiden, Crowed, I'm going to go like that. The first one would be the Mother, and it's number 41, and it's the veil. It's quiet. I mean, it's quite possible your eyes have become the fog in which you dwell, a half swollen glimpse of all that you truly are and can be, that the tears you bled are ready for the storm to turn the skies inward. And this is really interesting because it's, this is very poetry, these cards. But I told you, Mother, Maiden, Crone, and this would be the Mother. And it's saying that the veil is kind of telling you that up to now, your perception of your reality, of who you are, of everything that is around you, was the perception of what you were taught. And you were starting to realize here in 2025 how what you were taught was probably jaded. And it was creating this fog over your eyes that now you're starting to take that lesson that you learned through this year. Like, I feel like this year for you, Cancer, was a very much disillusionment year um where the heroes fell from grace and where you saw the truth of your reality. And sometimes that's hard, right? But I feel like these lessons are going to start turning inward, and you are going to start seeing how this perception that you have of your reality, how it being changed allows you to have a different outcome for your future. That's the Mother. The second one is the Maiden, and we have intuition. Tell me if these are not freaking aligned. This is crazy. Number 23. And it says, you hold the answers. You know the truth. Ancient ones await behind the doors of your mind. This is the second card that's telling you that you have to go within. And this is very interesting for me just because of what I recently a conversation I recently had with my mom, for example. She's extremely religious. I'm talking about like church every Sunday, and every single time you have a little problem, you go back there to church. And we grew up very Catholic, okay? And then recently, she has been called to do like a wreath, like a Lent wreath. And I explained to her that Lent reads are actually pagan in descent. And I'm like, I'm not telling you not to do it, because if you're getting called to do something, it's because it's resonating for you and it's for your greatest good, right? But it's good for us to really delve deep and understand the framework behind it and what it truly represents. So I looked up some information regarding what it actually represents, and I provided it for her. And I'm like, though the Catholic Church is doing it their way, because it's something that is calling you, you should really look into the history of it and make it your way. Wow, this is making my throat chakra bother me. You have to make it your way, because the intention behind something should always be a reflection of the self. This is why I don't believe in cookbook witchcraft. This is why I don't believe in these little videos that say put a little bit of this and a little bit and that, and voila, your life is going to be completely different. No, you're opening. Every time we use magic, we're doing chaos. We are destructing the normal patterns of things, and there is always like a whiplash for it. And if you're not in a stable energy, then you will feel that whiplash as karma or negative consequences to actions. But every action you take has a consequence and a repercussion, and we need to take ownership and responsibility and accountability for these repercussions, right? Um, I don't know why I'm thinking of percussions, like the instruments. So I was telling her that because I wanted her to realize that though the Catholic Church is introducing this to her, and this is something that she feels resonant for, she should really do her research and align the frequency of these candles that she's going to light up and this intention she's going to light up to her intention, to her energy, and to her greatest good, even though the collective is doing it differently. Because it has to be something that comes from you. And if somebody else is doing, I want to say the group work, right? Then you have to be mindful that that energy is aligned to your greatest truth, or it's going to disturb your inner knowing. And I guess what I'm saying here is that the maiden is this renewal energy. The maiden is also the energy of the Bridget, right? And what they're telling you is listen to yourself. You have learned so much from this entire year. You have learned how truths can be distorted, right? And like sayings that we've said forever um have been shortened down so then somebody can use it for their agenda instead of the truth coming true, right? Like that of blood is thicker than water. I recommend you looking up what the real saying is, the entire saying. Or that one, jack of all trade, master of none. Look up the rest of the saying, because it's different than what they're trying to sell us. And the more we look and we research and we find, the more we expand into a better knowing about ourselves and about our history and about our inner truth instead of what somebody else tells us. Especially now that we have this energy of social media, that we have these little fools doing these videos for 3 or 4 seconds, tell you like a little truth without the expanded information, and then you're wondering why your life goes to shit because you didn't figure out everything before you jumped into something, you know? Um, so this is talking about like an understanding on how half truths and following the crowd and continuing a distorted like narrative actually messes you up. How everything can be real and fake at the same time. How like just because you give me a half a truth doesn't make it real truth. And then the crone, which would be that mother energy, the deep energy, we have greet the darkness. Okay. And it says, this one I'm not going to show you because there's naked women on here, but it says, here where the spine bleeds and the mouth quivers, beneath the hidden, the pieces that make you whole, but cut deep with all of the sharp edges. And this is talking about how, in delving into this energy of understanding the distortion of the mother energy, and coming into yourself and realizing how this resonates with you and how you're going to form it for your reality, this also awakens this deep resentment or this deep pain, like these ancestral I want to say disservices that come up. So it feels like as you're creating something new, there will be groups, organizations, people, places, things, energy, even things inside yourself that will be fighting your change. And knowing that that's what happens when you sow new seed, right? When you're taking care of a garden, there will be things that you're going to have to pull out, and there will be things that are going to have to change. And that doesn't create harmony for everyone, but it creates harmony for what you're trying to create, right? And sometimes sacrificing what you're trying to create for the greater good is actually a way of slowly putting yourself in that grave, right? I don't know, this one, like I said, this is not going to be for everyone, definitely. This one's extremely esoteric, and I don't think a lot of people are going to get the feng shui that I'm trying to give here, but it is for the ones that need to hear it. So that's where I'm at there. The fourth thing that we're going to look into is December 21st, which is Capricorn season, the beginning of Capricorn season. The very important thing about here this day is that there's four squares, okay, which remind me of a box, like a cube, right? And the four sides of that cube. I know that cubes have more than four sides, they have six sides, but that's not what we're worried about. As above, so below. We're not going to worry about that. We're going to worry about the sides. The first side is this new seed that wants to create itself in your life, where you have taken all the remnants of everything that was left over from everything you discovered this year, and you're starting to make something new for next year. The important thing is that next year is year number one. It's the beginning of a 9-year cycle. Okay. Year number one is the year of the magician. This is when we start making the plan and planting the seeds for that person that we want to become and that direction that we want our lives to go to. The thing is that because you're planting these seeds, there are three aspects of yourself that you're going to have to confront. Think of the other three sides of the box as your mirrors. One mirror is your emotions. So this is when you have self-doubt. This is when you feel shame for wanting to do something different. This is when you feel remorse for having to let go of the past. There is going to be habits and acts that you're going to have to do different physically. So this is the routine changing, the manners that you do things changing in your life. And the third is your mind. This is when your belief system has to align to a new belief system. An example that I can give you is the belief system that much religions and spiritual people had pushed, which is money is the root of all evil, right? So then pushing an agenda that if you are spiritual, you're broke, you can't want for anything in this world, which is completely false, but a narrative that was created falsely, right? In order to make less people want to go for spirituality. Because in a practical world, are you going to be slumming in the streets waiting for somebody to give you something to eat? No, you're going to have to survive. So then you think to yourself, I'm never spiritual because I'm not. I mean, I need money to survive, or I'm going to have a family, or I'm going to strive to move forward. Putting this like mindset that the only people that are truly spirituals are the ones that hide themselves in a forest in the middle of nowhere, that are recluse and nobody talks to, right? But isn't it perfect to have that agenda if you're trying to make sure nobody wakes up? You see what I'm saying? Half truths, right? And so this is what's kind of dying. And so what I decided to do was that I decided to take out my archetype deck. And what we're doing is that we are going to, whoa, look, the blank one. We are going to see what's going to die and what's going to be rebirthed in aspects of ourselves, because this is all about you, honey. This is not about anybody else. This is what is different from my channel and everybody else's channel. The person here in charge is you. The only one responsible to get you out of this hole is you. There can be other things interfering, but I always try to give you information for you to confront those demons and say, no, not today, not today. And so keep that in mind. Like if you are watching channels that are telling you, oh, this person's attacking you, this person's attacking you, but God has your back. No, he doesn't. Okay, because God gave you arms, gave you legs, gave you a mind, gave you a spirit, gave you a mouth, gave you a soul for you to take action. This is supposed to be a co-creation. And if we sit on the side, the only thing, this is a side tangent. The only thing that sits on the side that gets fed, get that gets clothed, that gets taken care of 24 hours a day without any exception is a baby. Are you a baby? That's what I don't understand about these religions saying just pray for it, God is going to take care of it. Why? Are you a baby? That's baby religion. Real religion is I am praying for you for your intercession, and I'm going to take action to make it change. I'm going to change my mindset so that I can make it change. And I am going to check my emotions to make sure I make this change. So, mind, body, spirit, I'm changing, and you facilitate with me because we're co creating this reality. I'm not sitting here waiting until you give it to me in my lap. Only babies do that. So, I went on a tangent. My apologies. And not really, but really. And let's see what's dying. What's dying? The seeker. And so I look at the shadow aspect as this is what's dying. Okay. And for the seeker's shadow aspect, it says inability to commit to a path once found. Lord Jesus. This is so funny because what did I just finish saying? I must be triggering somebody. This is the baby aspect. Like, why is this so hard? I thought spirit was supposed to help me. Why do I have to change everything? Why do I have to give up my family, my friends, my loved ones and move forward? You know, one of those things like that's so unfair. And so what's dying is this feeling of being the victim, and what's awakening is this feeling of I'm accountable for this, I'm responsible for this, I'm an adult. I know adulting's kind of freaking sucks, but sometimes it really is awesome. Like, I've seen a lot of memes talking about I give up, I don't like this adulting thing. I understand it kind of sucks sometimes, but you do get freedom and you do get independence and you do get changes, as long as you don't continue the same patterns of your family and whatever everybody else says, right? So, and if you're not holding yourself by everybody else's standards and you hold yourself by your own, so there is freedom there. So I mean, everything has something that kind of sucks. Like, also, if you're a baby and everything gets handed to you, you don't get to say what you want, you don't get to do what you want, you are under somebody else's rule. So you see what I'm saying? So that's interesting. Now, what is waking up inside of you? Oh, the lover. I'm liking this. This is like heart chakra 1000%. So we have great passion and devotion, unbridled appreciation of someone or something. And I feel like the someone is you and the something is the life you have. This is the energy of gratitude, the energy of, you know what? I know this sucks sometimes, but I mean, this is my life, not what he said, she said, how they want to look, how they want to taste, how they want to express themselves. It's what I like. I'm liking this. It's this big, real freedom. Okay. I want to see it in what aspect is going to affect your life with this oracle deck. Ooh, I got two. Shut up. There is something big about love here. Look at this. We have the energy of soulmates and we have the energy of regeneration. Okay, wait a second because I think I seen a 41 before. Oh, yes. Here you go. Look at where soulmates falls. It's a 41 and a 41. Soulmates with. So I'm feeling like somebody that is channeling and connecting to this energy. Your concept of what a relationship is, this can be platonic, this can be friends groups, this can be este love relationship. Este is in Spanish, okay. Um, and what's happening is that you're starting to see how you were taught based on social media, society, your family, your friends, your loved ones, blah blah blah. What a relationship is, yeah, it's not it. That's not what you want. So because you realize that you were working on an old paradigm, I think you're in this thought process of let's try this again. let's try this again. Like, I want to try this relationship again. I want to try this family connection again. I want to try this friend group again. I want to try it differently, but with the understanding that I have now of this relationship. Now, mind you, this 9-year cycle that you just finished closing off might have closed complete doors to certain connections. That's fine, right? But the ones that still stuck around, the ones that are willing to like work with you and whatever, then it's like, okay, so like I discovered that the problem that I have is that I never got taught how to have real friends. I never got taught how to be with a partner. I never got taught how to be in a friend group, or I never got taught how to create a community around me. And so I'm learning, but I want to try this with you guys, and I'm going to mess up and I might not be perfect and I might ghost you sometimes and etc. But are you willing to do it with me? That's what this feels like. Finding your soul true group, because I know a lot of people like this word soulmate. Oh my god, I'm going so crazy on this reading, but a lot of like people like this word soulmate, but the reality is a soulmate is a person that identifies like you in a soul frequency. Like there's similarities between you and this person in your soul, in your divine essence. And um, that means that if you're trying to learn, that person's trying to learn. And that is exactly where you want to be if you're creating something new. So, very awesome energy. Finally, we're going to have some tarot here to give you a final message. And thank you for everybody that's here still. Um, I know that society kind of makes people not have an attention span more than like 5 seconds. So the fact that you're still here, thank you for being scholars. Thank you for seeking wisdom, and thank you for opening yourself to something new. So let's see what we got to tell you. Whoa, did you see that? Did you see that? That one came and jumped at me. And what's jumping at you is a new path. We have Two of Wands. Wow, something is slapping you right in the face. A new path, a new opportunity, a new way to look at the world, a new direction. We have Daughter of Wands. I want to see what she shows up. The Moon card. There's like a new passion that you're not expecting. It's going to come out of the blue, an open door that you're like, what the hell? Where did this come from? And when it comes, oh my gosh. Tell me about this opportunity that's coming out of nowhere. You know what? I think Aries reading had something to do with this. Like a connection that comes out of nowhere that's definitely going to change your life. It's coming quick. We have um the 8 of Wands. That one then comes with these little mess that felt, oh, you can't see the mess, but okay. The little mess that came in front of me. This is not something that you're going to have to put a lot of time, energy, and effort to invest in to create. Okay, because I feel like everything you've done up to now has taken so much work to do. And this is something that's just going to come so, like, I want to say feng shui. That comes with the Chariot in reverse and the World in reverse. Okay. The Chariot in reverse and the World in reverse. I turned it upright. Okay. Is interesting because what I'm seeing is that this is not a whole new cycle with a whole different group of people in a whole different environment. You're not going to have to move in crazy directions to make this happen. It's something that's already present in your life. It's just that you haven't been able to do anything with it because you never saw it for what it was. And then the next thing that comes out, and it came out sideways, is the Four of Swords. See how the light in the middle of the eyes woke up here? For some strange reason, I'm feeling that this might be something in the spiritual, because the Four of Swords feels like like a spiritual thing, like a spiritual awakening, something that is in your sleep state or something in your meditative state. Because sometimes that card is depicted with that energy of it's time for you to rest, to rejuvenate, and to meditate. There's something that's awakening, and I feel like it's subtle. You know what this just reminded me of? Somebody that recently told me, I really haven't seen a difference in me, but my sister noticed it. And my sister told me, hey, you seem different. You seem happier. You seem calmer. You seem more relaxed. Seem more connected. And I think that whatever this is so subtle. I don't think you're going to notice it. I think it's going to be one of those things that you're like, oh my God, I can't believe it's true. Like, I'm different. I feel different. Um, I see things differently, and I don't know where it came from. So I think it's going to be like a serendipitous event and just something subtle that ends up being like for your greatest good. So I hope this helps, and we'll see you the next time.